quickly. And you can get down there really quick if you just practice that technique. And I've got a lot of different ones over there on my website. DowsLikeAPro.com. DowsLikeAPro.com. You hear the commercial all the time, folks. But just for the meditation techniques, you ought to get the 8 DVD set. I've been using it for over a decade. Hey, Jeffrey, so what did you have some more stuff on the cellular, or did you want to talk about meditation? Where'd you want to go with this?
Oh, all of it. I don't know. There's all such juicy topics. I was still thinking about chocolate, really, when we were talking about that with telementation a minute ago. I mean, I think, just to close that one out real quickly, I think that it's just interesting. For some reason, if I go, and I've had, weight issues, not too bad, but just, trying to, get perfectly thin and so forth, which, good luck. But I do eat a lot of chocolate at times because it seems to just hyper drive meditation for me. It's really, really interesting that substance would do that. Now, other substances like Damiana, which is a very strong, somewhat euphoric tea, not really, not in the sense that beer or something is, but it's supposedly. Here, let me just say this: it doesn't. I can't make telementation and meditation go well on that. So it's almost like, how you were saying, some plants really have a connection with our consciousness. I mean, chocolate, which is an herb, pure good chocolate, not this trash Hershey's junk, chemical garbage at the grocery store.
Right.
But some of these plants do really, like you were talking about Terence McKenna, one of my intellectual heroes personally. He puts it nicely how, the plant almost knows what to do. It's like, with your consciousness. And I hold the thesis, John, I think you already know that plants are conscious. There's all kinds of evidence for that all over the place. Just the pathetic academics. I feel bad I keep saying that. Maybe I need to stop. But just, they hold the benchmark of what's the intellectual information in this country. So you always have to, refer to them if you say something that is outside of their domain, because when something's outside of their domain, they just start calling names. They don't say, "Oh, let's explore that." They start saying, "Oh, that's quackery. Oh, that's this, that, and fools and pseudoscience." So what I've done lately is just started calling them the same names. Calling the plate tectonics theorists, quacks and pseudoscientists and so forth. Because if you've got the evidence behind you to be able to do that, it's a lot of fun, really. To
but on the other hand, our most of our listeners are completely in tune with you on that, knowing that the academic is the New World Order. Hey, I've got an interesting thing here from Joel. He mentions the Marsh Chapel experiment, and he said that they gave these mushrooms to some monks or friars. Like 7 out of 8 had the most incredible spiritual experience of their life. Even followed up studies years later, they still said it changed their entire spiritual life in a profound and good way, positive way. It is a famous study called the Marsh Chapel experiment, and he says that they claim that in the experience they spoke with Christ and other experiences. So that is pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, there was a movie. I think that was at Harvard. I vaguely remember that. It's one of those experiences. There's the guy who wrote the DMT, the spirit molecule, whose name slips my mind. The book's right behind me here somewhere. But he is doing the same thing at the University of New Mexico, my alma mater. And, there's a lot of these studies, and there's a movie made on it called Altered States, which is, a lot of it, some of it gets a little over the top, but the movie's a lot of fun, really, to see the film cover these topics. But, they report the same. It's not like going out and getting a six-pack and drinking it all fast and getting drunk. That's called a euphoric or a depressant. And psychedelic substances, from what I've read, what I've been told, are totally different than that. They are, they're just made for turning you into a spiritual philosopher, as my student verified. So
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, people have been just so tricked into thinking they're just drugs, and so it's hard to get around that. But like you said, the listeners of this show are probably well beyond that, and probably many of them know all kinds of different substances, like chocolate or whatever. That's in that spiritual camp. Even various kinds of teas. Yeah, right.
Hey, and just straight meditation and seeking experiences. With a focus, you can get there too. The most profound experiences that I ever have, as far as reaching there, is actually two methods. One is intensive dowsing without a break. I cannot explain it. I'll just keep it to myself. But folks, it is a mystical experiment or experience. But it was an experiment with me because I knew that I was communicating with the Creator's consciousness, and so I said, how could I get there for a longer period of time rather than moments here or there? And so I just did an intensive dowsing. And I can get there in about 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes it might take me 30, but that is a life changer. The other thing that I've done is just the fasting, where I deprive myself of everything for 3 full days, and that means I just get up in bed, folks, and I throw some blankets on me, and I cover up the windows, and I do not get up to use the restroom. I do not eat. I do not drink water. I try not to touch anything. Now, obviously, the blanket is touching me, and I just sleep a lot, and then whenever I'm awake, I just focus on, seeking truth, and it's just that kind of focus. And now nothing will happen, folks, for 2.5 days. But in that last half a day, hang on, because everything happens. And the great stuff is, the greatest aspect to this whole experience is, you only need to go to this other side for a few moments to change your life, or to come back with incredible and profound insight to all the questions you might have in your mind. Those are the two things that I do. However, Jeffrey, you already know this. Nobody else does. Oh, Joel, I told Joel today in Ohio, but I just bought the God helmet. You were just talking about that movie. It should arrive within 2 weeks, and that God helmet using magnets induces spiritual experiences. So I will be doing that and reporting to you guys my experiences.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. When you told me that, I didn't know you even really caught much of that when I was talking about that. But yeah, that wasn't part of the movie, as far as I know. That's that professor up in Ontario, Canada, Persinger. I've got a couple of his books. He has a lot of the academic party lines, oh, it's just all the experiences are just hallucinations, that, all the visions you see in the God helmet. Fine, he can think that, but he's pretty interested. A lot of his stuff he's doing experimentation on, it makes you think, this guy's a real academic. This is what everybody should be doing. Throw away all the vaccine research and all this. And he's an interesting guy. And his
interpretation of what he's coming up with is inaccurate, but he stumbled upon something profound, which is actually, is the movie based on his work, or did his work come after the movie?
You mean the movie Altered States?
Yeah.
The movie Altered States is about using psychedelic substances. That was made way back in the 70s, I think. William Hurt, and it's a classic film director. I can't remember the guy, Kurt something, I can't remember his name, who made it. And no, that's more like that chapel experiment that I think Joel was asking about.
Yeah, but they strapped something to their head that then recorded their experience, right? So,
yep.
Yeah, okay. We're going to take an extended break.